Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mission Accomplished. Mission Accomplished. Um, Waiting to hear from my special guest tonight, the face of NEF New England Fights. Bruce Boyington will be joining me soon. Um, just waiting to shoot him his invite to get him in here. I want to thank everybody that's been following the page, everyone that's been joining the YouTube channel. Um, the more we grow this thing, the more we put some entertainment out, some MMA, some MMA entertainment, as well as some veteran talk. Man, we got to get the word out. We got to let people speak their stories. We got to put some information out. Keep everybody informed. I just sent out the invite. Our guest of honor should be here soon. And I'll pop him on here and we'll do some good old chatting. Some good old MMA talk on Mission Accomplished. Your new favorite spot for MMA talk, for veteran talk, for looking at my big stupid face. You know what I mean? I just got this awesome shirt from one of my former guests, Bjorn Gwigny. She sent me a nice little care package with some Boston Youth Wrestling. I see my boy Bob in the comments loving my microphone. I hope it sounds okay. Everything sound good, Bobby? Waiting to hear from Bruce. And he's, what do we got here? For everyone that's on right now, make sure you're tuning in tomorrow night as well. I got another big guest coming up. I got the bare knuckle heavyweight champion, Joey Beltran, tomorrow night. But for tonight, we got the face of New England Fights, Mr. Bruce Boyington. Pretty boy.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine.
All right, good. I didn't know how these ear beats worked. I know I can hear you, but we're good on this end.
All right. Well, man, it's an honor to have you on. You are obviously kind of one of the faces of New England, the New England fight game. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've been around for what, 10, 11 years now in the pro scene?
Yeah, I think my first one was 2009. Yeah, first pro fight.
Now, prior to fighting, you were a Marine, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I was in the infantry in the Marine Corps, and I was actually martial arts instructor. Was my secondary MOS in there, so I got to actually, I guess you could say, which many don't know, that was where my grappling first started, because they started implementing grappling at that time into the United States Marine Corps.
Ah, man, I love it. That's yeah. I mean, I only got to do a little bit of the combatives in the Army, but only preparing for deployments. Like, so 3 different deployments, 3 different times through the combatives course, but yeah, nothing like you were doing probably as a full-time gig.
Yeah. It's pretty basic,
awesome.
Just like that, like what you did. I mean, it was a basic regiment, but during halfway through my term in the Marine Corps is when they implemented a whole new system, and they brought in, I think it might have been Hoist Gracie, or they brought in some of those really top dogs with jiu-jitsu at the time, and a lot of different disciplines, and put it all into one basic program like the combatives. And I just got to be one of the first 50 instructors for the Marines to be teaching it, so that was cool.
Wow, that is pretty cool. And that led you into a full mixed martial arts career?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I did Taekwondo growing up. I mean, I did start it when I was 7, so I was into the whole traditional martial arts and all that. But Taekwondo, especially the full contact Olympic style that I did, it really kind of caters to people that are a little taller, a little leaner, and got some reach. And I had always kind of favored wrestling, and just getting my hands on somebody, kind of controlling them. Although I wasn't really a jiu-jitsu kind of fighter. So when I first got to do that in the Marines, what they did in the Marine Corps is they took the top 50 guys from each company and brought us all into one gymnasium to teach us this course. And they had, I had guys that were like, oh my God, they were heavyweights, big old dudes. And nobody really had much experience with martial arts, but I remember them sitting us in the gymnasium and putting us back to back, and we'd all sit down on the ground. So there's 25 sets of people, and they blow the whistle and say go, and you just had to turn around just like you do in grappling class.
Yeah.
And as soon as one person gave up or submitted, you had to go right to the next person that was right there with you. So I actually was the last one standing the first time around, and then they said, all right, we're gonna do it one more time. And I was the last man standing the second time around. So I immediately got really hooked to that, the actual aspect of grappling at the time. And I didn't know nothing.
So you didn't have like a high school wrestling background or anything like that?
No, and Old Town, Maine didn't have a wrestling program. I mean, I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't want to say it proudly, but I had a lot of street fights up to that point.
Yeah.
I got into fights a lot. So there obviously, no rules. You kind of end up on the ground and rolling around a lot. So are you born and raised Bangor, Maine, or are you? Yeah, well, yeah, Old Town, Maine's where I went to high school. Essentially Bangor, Maine, where they had the UFC card not long ago. I was born there. My mother was from Queens, New York. So
Okay.
sometimes people be like, well, you're from Boston or New York or something. But I think it's that accent from her maybe carrying over. And a lot of my family's down in New York. So
You got a little mixture of New York and New England. So
yeah, of its own entity.
So I got to tell you, man, I've been up in Maine for Army stuff at the airport there. I'm in an aviation unit. Yeah. So I've had about 4 weeks of my life up in Bangor, and I spent, there was like this sports bar called the Sports Arena. Is that still there?
It is. Yeah.
Oh man. It was like within walking distance of where we were staying, so everybody would go down there and just get messy and then stumble
I know right
back.
what you're talking about. Yeah, because I had to go there just before I signed up for the Marine Corps. They did something out there for my recruiter, but right on that out of Hammond Street in Bangor is where you're talking about.
Yeah. We had a good time up there. We did a lot of we went up there. We have maintainers working on aircraft, and me and my guys were doing driver's training. I was licensing a bunch of guys on like tractor trailers and whatnot. So,
man, if I could go back, like that's cool. I would get into something like aviation related. I mean, that's always been intriguing to me. So that's cool that you did that.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like it's weird because my older brother was in the Army infantry. He was a ranger, and he was like as who as it gets. And when I went to the recruit, I told him I was going to the recruiters. I said I'm going to join the infantry. I'm going to do everything that you did. And he was like, "No, you're not, dude."
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, "Go do some other shit."
Yeah.
So you are a 2-time CES champion, a 4-time NEF champion. You're a World Series of Fighting veteran, a CTX lightweight champ. Am I missing anything there?
Yeah, CFX, I think that's what you meant. But CFX was KFX with Gary Foreman and Linda Shields, who I still am friends with. But that was the first belt. I fought a guy named Russo. Russian name. I can't remember his last name or how to pronounce it. But that was the first lightweight belt we won. And I guess the only other thing was fighting over in Russia, ACB, which is their biggest promotion. They're now ACA because they had some issues with I don't even know if it was financial issues or whatever, but they switched over. Still, Habib's cousin or brother, all those guys are over there fighting for ACB or ACA right now, and I think they're just funneling them into the UFC. So it's a big promotion, and that was a headline card.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was really. I mean, fighting at Madison Square Garden was a really cool experience. But overall, like flying over to Russia with a couple guys, Josh Harvey was one that went over with me and John Stewart, and we Man, it was like a Rocky versus Dolph Lundgren there.
How did they?
Forever.
How was the hospitality? Did they treat you like royalty over there? Like I've
Uh
heard different stories about different
Not
guys going
really.
over.
Not
No.
really. No, I mean, it was different. Like when I got out of my fight, because I lost a decision to Musa, who again I stay in touch with him, really tough dude. But when I got out of the arena, and it was this brand new arena called Diesel Arena in Penza, Russia, and this place was huge and brand new, and I had like people lining up. They're all Russian people lining up outside the cage for autographs and pictures and stuff, and like I didn't know any of them. But if you go, then we went out to the club after, and uh, the guy that was kind of showing us around and was Russian. He was making sure we're safe and whatnot. He's like, we probably ought to get out of here. He goes, there's a bunch of Russian guys over there. They're not. It's not looking good right now. So there was a lot of mixed feelings. The
Yeah.
promotion themselves was very professional. I mean, they paid good. They did everything, followed through with everything, just great. It was completely different than the USA, and I don't think they were really treating you like royalty, but they were certainly taking care of you.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any? I know COVID has put a damper on most things, but it seems like some promotions are starting to pick back up again and trying to put some stuff together. You got anything on the horizon coming up, or?
Yeah, yeah, COVID sucks, man. Just for the record, I mean, who doesn't think that? But
Yeah.
it's given me some blessing in disguise opportunities, and then it's really just hindered a lot of things, such as my gym, Titan Athletics, where we train on a regular, is currently shut back down from the contact sports for the moment. I think we'll get back to grappling and stuff pretty soon. Although I'm out of town for work right at the moment, but it's really been tough. So I'm just getting in a good space right now. I've been working out and dieting, doing the best I can with what I'm working with, and getting ready for a fight. I've actually essentially signed 2 contracts. One's with NEF, and that fight was supposed to be in my hometown, Old Town Orono, at the University of Maine, and that just keeps getting postponed because of the COVID restrictions that our governor's putting on. I thought we were close to doing it because they were lifting the ban. You could have a little bit more people in one group setting, but then they kind of squashed that when a couple of cases showed up at the University of Maine. So we're just waiting on that. Matt Peterson, Nick DeSalvo, when things clear up, I think they're going to give the green light for a card. And I'm being told even if it's not full capacity, they'll do it. But it's got to obviously not be a loss, financially speaking. So there's that one. And because they're the way they are, and they'll let me fight if I get a bigger opportunity or something. If the UFC calls, hey, I need a short term placement or something, they'll let you do that. Bellator, same thing.
Yeah.
So I did sign another contract. I can't really say a whole lot. It is with Taora down in Brazil. I can't really say a lot, and it's a pretty exciting name and stuff, but that again got postponed. It was supposed to be October 23rd, and then they had some family issues, so we moved it to December 6th, and that played out good for me because of my work schedule. I work for New England Mechanical Overlay, and we do outage season right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, December 6th is cool. And, that's why I've been gearing up, working out whenever I can. And then they're broadcast on Fox Sports. They signed a huge deal with Fox Sports, I
was just going to ask you how we can see that.
Yeah. You
That's
can
cool.
watch it through Fox Sports, but I think Johnny Campbell just was down there fighting. So where I guess the event for December 6th, Fox Sports had something else on that day, so they had to change that to a different date. I don't want to say that because I don't know if I'm supposed to. There's some things in the contract, but just so you and other people know, because I know it's been quiet. I've been dying and itching to get back into the cage. I cannot wait because my last fight was with Manny, and it was just such a it left me empty because it not just because it was a loss, but because I didn't get it out of my system. So I'm very excited to get back in there.
Now that has that organization. How do you pronounce it? Tora?
I think they call it Taora or something like that.
Tyora.
Taora.
They got quite the roster they're building up there with that.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
Bigfoot Silva, Darren Cruikshank, Henan Barrow, Bobby Moffitt, yourself,
Yeah.
Usamir Palhares. That's a freaking hell of a roster that they're putting together. So I wonder what the
Yeah.
rest of that card looks like.
One of the names, my opponent is a big name too, so it's very exciting. But again, I can't really say
Nice.
much. But it brings me it brings me to the best level. Usually, that's when I perform the best and prepare the best I can. So that's exciting. They
So
are a big promotion. I don't know where they're getting their money from, but
yeah, that's awesome, man. As long as
yeah,
they got that money, as long as they keep getting them wherever the money's coming from, who cares, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
now, so that's about I mean, that's a few weeks away if it does fall around December 6th. How different has your fight camp been or your preparation for the fight? I mean, I would imagine with COVID, you're changing some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything. I mean, everything's been different. I'm sure for every fighter. Obviously, UFC contender series are all different, but I'm always kind of in a unique situation because I've had my own martial arts school, Titan Athletics, and the guys that I train and coach me are right down the street from me. And whether a gym is closed or not, I can still get in with got Jeremy Tyler's like my main coach and Eduardo Benjamin. So he's a great jiu-jitsu black belt, and these guys, they kind of do whatever I ask or need. They kind of say, hey, we'll come in and do whatever. So and Ryan Sanders, another one of mine. I got a lot of killer partners that still come in and train. So I've been
But
out of town right now, so it's been the training for me has been hitting the gym down there, going on runs, and I'm actually right down by Matt Peterson doing the fights. But when I go home, and I'll go home probably this weekend, I go home and go to the gym, do my grappling, and hit mitts or something. So we get it in. It just hasn't been 7 days a week, double sessions. And
yeah,
that'll happen as I get a little closer to the fight. I'll just step away from work for the time. But it isn't December 6th, just so that I was
yeah.
clarified. December 6th got pushed back. It is going to be in January sometime.
Oh, okay, so it'll be another month at least.
Yeah.
Um, what do you like? What's your walk around weight? Because me and you are about the same height, the same age. Like I walk around 210 pounds. I'm a big
Yeah.
guy.
Well, you
I
look
don't,
solid though. Anyways.
yeah. What do you walk around at? Like how soon out do you start cutting? So if the December 6th was going on, would you have already started cutting weight or?
Yeah, I've already been working on that,
Oh, okay.
this fight's at 155. So
Oh, nice.
I've wanted 155. Same with New England Fight. So I've wanted that because the cuts just suck at this point in my career, unless I really have something on the line. Like let's say Matt Bissett and I fought, that may be something I'd try to get back down to 145 if that's what we needed to do. But otherwise, I like 155. And
Yeah.
so, normally in my past career, if I'm fighting at 155, I'm usually walking around 175. And
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I'm doing right now. I'm 175 right now. And I could make 155 next week. I'm sure, no problem. But I'm trying to put on a little more size and make it a little bit harder to cut at 155 because I didn't really cut. When I fought Nate Andrews, we fought 155. I think I literally dropped 2 pounds before the
Oh,
fight.
wow.
Yeah, so I don't want to. I don't want to be in that situation. It's been hard bouncing 145 to 155.
And plus, you've been around for a long time. I mean, in the
Yeah,
sport. No offense,
right. No,
you're
of
not a young
course.
man in the sport. For
Yeah,
me, for me to lose weight, I don't like. I would think that a guy like you, your career longevity could be extended by a lot if they would add like a 165 division and bounce that
yeah,
one and move that 170 up to 175. You know what I mean? You know,
That would be cool, but they're so what'd you say you weigh right now?
like 208. That's what
Yeah.
I'm
So if you
yeah, I'm
wanted to get
5'9", 208. So
right. If you were in, if you started working towards a fight, though, I mean, you probably get down to, 190. I mean, there's guys at that size that would make that 165 cutoff.
yeah.
That's really hard to compete with. I mean, you have to be skill wise just 10 times better than someone to beat them when they have that much size on you. So I mean, doesn't mean I wouldn't fight at 165, but I like 155 right now. It's a really perfect spot for me. And I've done well with 155, when things in my life are going well.
Dude, do you have a favorite victory or a favorite moment in your career in all the fights? Because I got a couple of your fights that I thought were fucking the spin kick to the ribs followed by the spinning back kick
Yeah, that was
knockout
exciting.
was like that was boom boom was fucking great. And the one against I don't know how to say the guy's name was John Rio or Rio.
Oh yeah, John Rail. Yeah.
Yeah, that was you cracked him with a spin and kick left hand combo in the first
Yeah.
round. That was pretty badass too. You got one in mind that like really sticks out in your
I
career?
didn't think of it until you said that, but because I had to fight John Rayo twice. The first time, which is a loss on my record. I mean, I like that guy. He was such a good dude, but he was going for a rear naked choke, and he was on the side of my hips. Wasn't even close to a choke, and so our crowd started getting loud in Lewiston. So I put my hand up and started waving like, no, he ain't even close, and the ref jumped in and stopped it. So he got a win on that, and we did a rematch, and that's when that happened. So, it sucks when losses like that make your record look the way it is. But nonetheless, I did that same kick, kind of like the same combo when Dan Dubuque and I fought for CES.
Yeah.
And I think Dan was a really exciting fight. I mean, because he's such a humble, kind dude, and we went 5 tough rounds. I think John Lemke was a really tough fight for me. I was going into that fight with a pretty bad concussion, and
Oh,
then
really?
yeah. So my wife fought that night too. So before I got in there, I was screaming and coaching for her, and had that all on my mind. So it was just a taxing night that night. I remember that one, like you said. The one with Keegan Hornster with the spinner hook kick was pretty exciting, but it was so early in my career that I hadn't really learned how to enjoy it as much.
Right.
I was
And
probably just as excited, surprise.
yeah, so yeah, you were early in your career, so
Yeah,
using Taekwondo was like your shit. So
naturally. I
right.
continued to try to use Taekwondo, but sooner or later, the guys know that's what you're going to do, and then they take advantage of it.
It's the
You,
beauty
you
of the
know,
sport.
you got to learn how to
Yeah.
use it. I think one fight I was going to mention. It was a 5 rounder. Oh, Devin Powell. That one.
Yeah.
That was at like a pivotal point in my career where I started out with some losses fighting Rick Hahn and Moose down in City Tong. And I had some losses and my life was all messed up. And then
Yeah.
I remember getting kind of on track. And then they threw Devin Powell at me, who was undefeated as an amateur and he was undefeated as a pro. And I, beat him with a unanimous decision. So for me, that was a really exciting fight at that point in my career.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You said your wife fought on the same card. Does she have a lot of fights under her belt as well, or?
Oh man, my wife. I'm not just talking her up, but that girl has such potential. If she only, she doesn't like the spotlight like I do,
Yeah.
and so she's had 4 fights as an
Mm-hmm.
amateur, and 2 of them were against Aaron Lamont, who, in my opinion, in that weight class is probably has been the best fighter in the Northeast or New England at least. And I don't know what Erin's doing, focusing on her family or something, but she's really good. And so my wife lost to her twice, and then she fought Danielle Hindley, who's again one of the best ones in the Northeast as female fighters go. And she fought Alex Walker. She beat Alex Walker in Lewiston, I think that night actually. So she's talked about going back a few times for some fights that maybe she's had some tension with some other females in the state, but I don't know
Nice.
if that'll happen or not. Who
Do
knows?
your kids train too?
Yeah. They started Taekwondo when they were very young, and because I have my own Taekwondo school, and my kids have both become national champions at a very young age. In fact, my youngest one, you're supposed to be at least 5 when you start the nationals. We went out to Detroit, Michigan, or it might have been Atlanta, Georgia. My son was 4 at the time, but we signed him up, sent him over there, and he ended up beating all of the kids there and got the gold medal at the nationals. So that was
That's
pretty cool.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So your family's not one to trifle with.
I think when they're older, it's gonna be a tough one. They're not as crazy as I am, I don't think. But everybody just they love health, they love fitness, and just pushing themselves, no matter what sport it is.
That's freaking awesome, man. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's very great having you on here, man. I do this thing with my guests. It's called the speed round. I ask 10 random questions that really don't have much to do with what the hell we've been talking about.
Okay.
So, it's something fun to do before I let you go for the night. You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm up. Hopefully, I know what you're talking about on all 10, but I'll do my best.
Oh, and by the way, I threw your sponsors across the bottom just to give you that.
Yeah. No, I can see that now. Well, I hope everybody else can, because man, every fighter will tell you that's how we do it right there. I've had some awesome people helping me out along my career, so I want to do something special when it's all said and done for all of them.
Hell yeah, man. All right, well, here we go. This is the speed round with Bruce Boyington, pretty boy, the face of New England fights. Here we go. Number 1. Boom. What would you rather be doing? Hunting, fishing, or fighting?
Oh, shoot, man. I got to say fighting, but hunting's right up there.
Hunting's right up there. You like bow hunting or rifle?
I got a deer this year with my bow, so
Hey.
that was cool.
Awesome, dude. Number 2. Say the first word that pops into your head when I say any of the following names. Ready? Dana White.
Fighting.
John Jones.
Steroids.
Conor McGregor.
The man.
Awesome. All right. Now this is a question my 9-year-old son helped me write these questions. And this one was from my son Jackson. What's your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Nice. Number
Italian.
7. Pick one of the following Christmas movies: Home Alone, A Christmas Story, or Elf.
I gotta say Home Alone, but I'm a Polar Express kind of guy, or Rudolph would be at the top of the list.
Yeah,
In
you
fact,
like the animated?
I just messaged my wife. Funny you asked that question. I messaged her yesterday. I said, "Tell the kids they're not allowed to watch Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman until I get back home."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, next question I've asked every guest that's come on my show in the Cobra Kai Karate Kid saga. Are you Team Johnny or Team Daniel-san?
Oh, man. I never thought I'd say this, but definitely Team Johnny. Definitely.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know if you've seen the new stuff with your busy life, but Cobra Kai, they've really turned Daniel-san into a real tool bag. So.
Yeah, he's a little out there. I mean, insecurities, I guess, or something, but it's not so much how much of a tool bag he is, but I just like Johnny, man. Who doesn't like rooting for that underdog, you know?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in a house where I had an older brother in the 80s, and when we would play Karate Kid afterwards and we'd fight each other, he's the older brother with the dark hair and the dark eyes. He was always Daniel-san, and I was always Johnny, so I was always a Johnny guy.
That's tough growing up as Johnny. It's changed now.
Yeah, all right.
Plus, he's got a cool car, right?
Oh, he's got a badass car now. Favorite non-combat sport?
Hunting.
Hunting? Would you call that a sport? Yeah, alcohol. I don't know.
If it's not hunting, God, probably football.
There you go.
Yeah.
Favorite football team?
Well, it used to be the St. Louis Rams, but they've changed now. Los Angeles. I'm not big on New England. I never really have been, so I can tell you that. I like to see them win because I like to see so many of my friends and family be happy, but yeah.
All right,
I might
question.
switch over to Tampa Bay now, actually.
Dude, I'm rooting for Tampa Bay right now. Let me tell you that. I'm not afraid to say it. The Patriots season is kind of in limbo for me, so I'll follow TB12 down there.
Right
All
on.
right, last question: is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know unless they made a movie I hadn't seen. No, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It's like a
it's
Mel
a great
Gibson
debate.
movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mel Gibson in a Christmas movie wouldn't work out. Neither is Bruce Willis.
All right, man. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, dude. This was great. Good to meet you. Good to catch up with you. And hopefully that card doesn't have any more snags in January. When was the NEF fight? Is that coming up soon too?
You know what? NEF was supposed to be because I messaged Matt after the Manny fight. I said, please just get me back in. I have to redeem myself real quick. And I think something in April was when it was supposed to be. Then they pushed it to June 23rd. And then June 23rd went to September 12th. And then he said, okay, look, we're not going to keep just picking these dates. We're going to just postpone it until, indefinitely, until we know that the ban's been lifted, and then we're going to go forward with it. So we'll be right back there with NEF. NEF's got some, I know everybody must be lining up to fight anyway, on Maine and New England scene.
I was just going to say, man, I hope for the sake of all you guys and all us fans, this COVID shit disappears soon and we can all get back to work. So
yeah, 100%, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you enjoy the show, man. It's a brand new thing I'm doing. I'm trying to bring fighters on, promoters, up-and-comers, veterans, whatever, for like a first half of the show, and then bring veterans on the second half, and you just happen to be both. So,
well, it's gone well, Kyle. Thanks for having me, first of all. Thanks to my buddy Bob, and you guys doing a great job. Get my buddy Ryan Sanders on there pretty soon, too, because I'm sure he has plenty. He needs to put out there what his plans are. He doesn't even share them with me sometimes.
I'll try to hit him up soon. I appreciate you, dude. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You too, Kyle. We'll talk soon.
Take it easy.
Later.
All right, that was the face of New England, the beautiful, pretty boy, Boyington. What a fun dude, man. Let's say we bring in my veteran guest of the night, which happens to be my dog, Michael Hunold. What's up, man?
What's up there, chisel chest?
Would you look at this guy? Hey, what'd you think of Bruce Boyington? Pretty cool dude, huh?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Cool guy.
Cool guy. Now, for anybody that's out there watching right now, this is the second half of the program. Mission accomplished. This is the veteran half of the program. And this is my boy, Mike Hunold. If you tuned in to the podcast that he helped me out with that one time, it was the Shiznit. And me and Mike deployed with each other back in 12-13 and become very good friends and bonded over some mixed martial arts. So it's a pleasure to have you on here, brother.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So before we preview this pay-per-view, you want to tell any fun stories? You want to tell any treacherous stories or
about deployment story? Or,
deployments. I got to tell everybody at home that Mike was probably in my unit for like a year and a half before he ever spoke a word to me because he thought I was a terrifying human being, which I can't see it. I don't see it, but
little bit terrifying. Not
okay,
really,
looks like treacherous. So Ian Olson is tuning in from the great city of Norwich, Connecticut, drinking Sobe. So
nice. I have had a little bit of Red Label in the coffee.
Oh, nice. That a boy. Now we're talking.
Breaking out the Christmas mug.
Well, my man, we got once again another drill weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Happens to fall at another goddamn pay-per-view. So
would it be any different? I mean, every drill weekend has a fight night, and we got to stay up all hours of the night and watch it, and then barely be able to keep our eyes open for drill. It's something we have to do.
You know,
it's our duty.
You know what? It's no different. Yeah. Well, you know what? If these guys were really caring about us and our well-being, they wouldn't even have us come to drill this weekend because of COVID, and we can just watch these fights without having to worry about first formation in the morning. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, coronavirus.
But you know what? It's Thank you for your service, Mike, says Matt Lightning Lyle.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
But Mike, it's at least we're not 3 a.m. in a pitch black barracks huddled around a 13-inch screen with the sound off in the
Yeah.
At least we have the freedom to watch it in our own home and then show up tired as hell to first formation in the morning. You know?
Yeah, we don't have to pretend to yell. Like we start yelling like, oh.
Yeah, that's
at the screen.
That silent cheer.
Yeah, that was awesome. Wake Montez up, and he would come in there one time out of 10 fights. He'd be like, "I'll be up," and then he would just never show up.
Yeah, I believe and for anybody that's watching this, we don't pay for pay-per-views when we're on deployment. It's pretty badass. All the pay-per-views are free on AFN, so we watch them for free. And we would invite our friend Montez like every single time we'd get up at the darkest hours of the night to watch because of the 10 or 11 or 12 hour time difference, whatever it was like 3, 4 in the morning. We'd always ask Montez, he'd always say he's going to come watch with us. And then we told him WrestleMania was going to be on one night and he was like, what? Fake fighting? I'm fucking in. And he came. The dipshit. I love him though.
Yeah. You got to love him. Got to love Montez.
Instead of going through this whole pay-per-view card, why don't we just I got the ticker across the bottom. What's across the bottom right now, right down here, the main card.
Right.
Main event, you got Deiveson Figueiredo against Alex Perez. What you think about this one? You think Perez is out of his league, or you think he's going to give him a run?
I don't really think he's going to give him a run. I think he's taken over Cody Garbrandt. That would have been a wonderful fight that I think Garbrandt would probably win. I actually think he would win that fight. As far as Perez goes, Perez is he's on a 3-fight win streak. I don't think he's quite ready. He probably needed another fight before he got here. He did lose to Benavidez by strikes in the first round, and it seemed as though Benavidez had nothing for Figueiredo in both of their fights. I mean, he really got demolished. So, and I know MMA math, that whole thing doesn't really work all the time, but I think in this circumstance, it is going to work because if Perez didn't really have much for Benavidez, I don't think he's going to have much for Figueiredo. But he does have a wrestling background, so if he does get him up against the fence and grind it out, he might be able to pull out a win, but I'd say that Figueiredo is too powerful, and I say he takes it second round TKO.
Well, I got to tell you that I think Deiveson Figueiredo is about as untouchable in that division as they get right now. As far, with Cejudo gone, with DJ gone, with Benavidez retired, not that Benavidez even gave him a run, like you said. There's really... Is Brandon Royval, he's on the same card, right?
Yeah.
Is that same weight class? Is Royval 125?
Yes, and he's fighting Moreno, who is the number one fighter in that division. So
okay, so other than Deiveson Figueiredo, the weird thing is Alex Perez. All respect to him, he's got the title fight, but I honestly think either one of those other two guys, Brandon Moreno or Brandon Royval, would give Figueiredo a better run. Honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe Moreno a little bit more. But Moreno's been decent in his last couple fights at least. So we'll see. I think they probably should have put Moreno in that spot, but they didn't. So they gave it to Perez. Perez is the first fighter from the Contender Series, Dana White's Contender Series, there to make it to a championship fight and maybe become the champion. Maybe the first fighter to go from there to become the champion. And good luck to him, but I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah. That's, that is pretty badass that Contender Series person's finally making it into a title fight. That's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
Co-main event though. Are we gonna get shocked, or are we gonna just see another lamb led to the slaughter?
So I was telling some people at work today, hey, you want to make a quick $850? You can bet $100 on Maya, and she's plus 850. But I don't think it's really an easy. It's probably an easy way to lose $100 because this is a huge difference. Valentina is a negative 13, a minus 1300.
Jesus Christ!
Favorite
right now, for those who don't gamble, that means you got to put 1,300 down to win 100 back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they're basically giving her maybe a 1% chance to win. I don't know. It's not that she doesn't have the skills to do it. She is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But what is she going to do? She has to she can't get in too close and she can't be too far, because if she goes too far, she does have boxing, and Maya has boxing experience, so she'd be too far. And I feel like Valentina's kicks, with the way that Maya holds her stance, I think she'll get clipped if she's too far outside, without a doubt. So she's going to be in this kind of mid-range fight or take her down, which I really just don't see that happen. I think Shevchenko is on point. She doesn't really screw up. She is the only thing I was thinking about is her sister is fighting earlier in the card, and if she loses, Valentina said, I know how to get my mind away from, thinking about that. If her sister loses, that it won't affect her fight, but maybe it will. I don't think that's a good idea when people do that,
Yeah. And it's funny because Caitlin Chukagian is on this card. She got smoked by Valentina.
Yeah.
She fought Antonina. She fought Jennifer Maya. Yep. So basically, half the card fought Caitlin Chukagian, who's also on this card tonight. And Chukagian was the last one to challenge for the title, and that was a straight-up washout, man. She didn't even stand a chance. So
no, neither did Jessica Ai.
Jessica Ai got kicked into goddamn Jesus pose.
Yeah, she got kicked into oblivion. This is another fight like the first one where I feel like that by happenstance, because Calderwood didn't want to wait, she got beat in a way where, she got caught in that arm bar, and now they're we'll just put Maya in because there's nobody else for Shevchenko. So we'll just throw her in. And I don't know, maybe she's, I don't know. I just think that I hold Shevchenko in way high regard, way higher than I do Figueiredo or anyone else really on this card. I think she is maybe the best female fighter.
Dude. Let's not even sugarcoat it. Valentina Shevchenko is on the Mount Rushmore of women's MMA. If you ask me, you got
really good.
Yeah. You got Chris Cyborg, you got Ronda Rousey, you got Amanda Nunes, and you got fucking Valentina Shevchenko, and the other one would be Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Those are the 5 greatest of all time, and I don't even think there's a debate about it. And I think that Valentina beat Amanda Nunes the last time they fought. So if you I honestly think she's the best woman fighter on the planet right now.
Well, she's beat, let's see, Kaufman, Holm, Pena, Jędrzejczyk, Ai, Carmouche, Chukagian. And those are some people.
And think about the size difference, too. This is a girl that was fighting at 135 pounds, beating smoking all those names. And then in her first fight against Nunes, the 3rd round was completely going Valentina's way. If it went to a 4th round, she might have even won that fight. The rematch, I thought she took 3 out of 5, maybe even 4 out of 5 of those rounds. And she was small enough to comfortably go down to 125 and just absolutely wipe out that division, where Amanda Nunes comfortably goes up to 145. So the size difference there is pretty incredible. Yeah. And Valentina does her damn thing against those big girls, man. She's awesome. She's about as good as they get. Matt Lightning Lyle says, anyone can get caught on any night. You know what I'm saying? That is, especially if it goes.
You should throw
It's
$100 on it.
yeah, especially throw $100 on it, make 850 back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it goes to the ground. Jennifer Maya, with her jiu-jitsu background, could catch her and sub her. So,
Yep.
you know, keep your eye out for that, people.
Anything
You
can
also
happen.
got,
That's why we love this sport.
right. And also on the same card, before that, you get to see the wild man himself, Mike Perry, who might be one of the most entertaining weigh-ins you'll ever see. So everybody should pay attention to the weigh-in on Friday as well.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Perry's fighting Tim Means on short notice. Tim Means stepping in for Robbie Lawler. So, I mean, there's that one. You also got Chukagian versus Cynthia Cavallo and Shogun. Shogun still damn fighting. Rematch in Paul Craig. They went to a draw about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that should be a decent fight too. Another legend, still doing it. I don't even know how old freaking Shogun is these days, but
How old Shogun is?
You know what? The thing is, he's 38 years old, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to be 39 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 weeks from now, I turn 39. Actually, he turns 39 in a few days. So me and him are
the 25th.
Dude, me and him are 9 days apart from each other in age, and I feel like he's 20 years older than me for the amount of times I've, watching him in the Pride ring and in the UFC cage. It's like, how the hell am I 9 days younger than that guy?
I know, isn't it weird? Like, for some reason, when I think about him, I think like he's like my dad's age, but except he's not even a year older than me. I don't know why. I don't know why it seems that way. It's so odd. But he's been doing pretty good. Like last 7 fights, he's won 5 of them, and he got one. He has one draw. And the person he lost to was Anthony Smith, who isn't a pushover. That guy's at the top of the division. So he's been doing pretty good lately. It's been a long span of fights, like over 4 or 5 years, I think. So he's been doing good. It's not like he's been losing constantly. He's been doing good.
Dude, it just blows my mind. Just that age thing just blows my mind, because I feel like I was a young man watching this kid. I feel like I was a kid watching him fight.
Yeah.
And goddamn
so was he.
Yeah, it's just so fucking crazy.
Yeah, when he fought against Jones, like in that title fight, and I hate to bring up like a bad memory for his fighting career, but like when was that?
He was shit.
That was like, is that
10 years ago?
11 or 2010?
Probably 10 or 11. I don't. I got his record right here. He fought John Jones March 2011. 9 years ago, he lost his title to John Jones.
Right. So
fucking crazy, man. I loved Bruce's answer to say whatever you think of when you hear these names. And I said John Jones, steroids.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, me too. I thought Jeter.
I thought pictogram.
That's what you thought?
Yeah, I think it's the funniest thing that he said it was a pictogram. It's just like, for some reason, it's so funny to me. He says like a drop of salt in the swimming pool. Like forever, I'll think of that.
That's fucking great.
Or
man.
him hiding underneath the didn't it come out like that was actually a real story? Like it was a rumor for a long time, and now it's like, oh, it actually was a real story. He was under there.
He admitted he did it, and he said it was because he smoked weed the day before, and he thought that he was going to pop hot for weed. But I really doubt.
I know.
I'm not hating him either.
I don't hate him.
All right, dude. So the prelims, man, got some decent fights on it. Like we just said, Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval. Royval, that kid looks like he's fast rising himself to a title shot. And if he beats Brandon Moreno, the featured prelim fight could be showing us the guy who's going to fight whoever wins that main event.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, whoever wins this fight is going to be the next person for sure.
Royval's slick. He's got good submissions, and he's got a mouth on the microphone, so he can get himself right in there. Yeah.
If Garbrandt comes back, he's going to sneak in. They're going to sneak him right in. So these guys might get not screwed. I mean, it's Cody Garbrandt. He's going to heal, and he's going to want the fight. And I want to see that fight. If he fights Figueiredo, that will be very nice.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? I tore my bicep. And
Right.
I don't know how long ago. I don't know how long ago Cody tore his bicep. That's not a quick. That's not a super quick turnaround.
Right.
Now, granted, when I tore my bicep and my labrum, and they had to reconstruct my whole shoulder and my bicep.
Yeah.
And remember, I was in a sling for 10 weeks from that, and like to this day, I don't have full. I mean, I'm pretty back to normal, but like throwing a baseball and throwing a football for me is kind of tough still. And I mean, I can't imagine humming overhand rights, with the same power I had before. So I don't know, man. It could be a little bit of a wait for his bicep to heal up. So, Bob says he's going to be back better than ever, back in whatever. But
Because
you know what I mean?
that last knockout that he had
Oh, it was amazing.
fantastic. Yeah, that was like
The
a
time,
video game
the way
knockout.
the way he like reached back, touched the cage, and timed it to throw that right hand was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And let's not disrespect Brandon Moreno either. He's a beast too. So either one of those two, while Cody's out healing, if either one of those guys make a real statement win and then get on the microphone and do yourself a favor and draw some eyes to yourself, like Chael Sonnen said, have something in your head before you walk in there. Right. Know you're going to win and know what you're going to say afterwards, because I hate when these guys win. They put them in, you are this close to a title shot. The microphone gets in front of their face and they say, you got something to say. And they're like, oh, I'll just fight whoever. You know what I mean? Whatever Dana White wants to do. No, fuck that. Say, I want the title shot. You saw what I just did. Give me my shot.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I know how to fight because I don't. But I do know that will sell a fight. If you're done with the fight, if you win, that's okay. That's half the battle, right? But when you if you start talking when the fight's over and you call somebody out, everybody's eyes are on you. You just won. The crowd is cheering. They're going to back up whatever you say. So if you call somebody out, they're going to be right behind you. And I don't understand when people do that. I don't get it. I would just company guy. I'm a company guy. I'll do this because every guy that's not a company guy that calls people out, those are the most successful people in the business. The people who call people out are the most successful people. It's just the way it goes.
Like I just brought up Chael Sonnen. Like Chael
Even when
Sonnen,
they lose.
Yeah, Chael Sonnen, after he lost to Anderson Silva, right? Remember the post fight? He was so slick and so smart about it. He was like, you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the rules. I had already won 4 rounds out of the 5. I thought I was already up 4-1. I'll just tap, let him have the 5th one. I win 4-1. I get the title. But apparently nobody explained the rules to me. He's so smart about it. They gotta take note and get a little smart on the microphone. You know what I mean?
But we all know that Chael's never lost. He's never lost, not even around. So that's
not even around.
No.
Yeah, he's beat every single champion in every organization ever. He's the highest paid athlete of all time.
Right. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows it. We got my sister in the chat room tonight. I can't believe she's tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, Megan. Megan says I should have did MMA fighting, and I'm going to tell you right now. My sister was one of the best pure athletes, and I'm not just saying that because it's Megan. Every sport she played, she was the best on the field. And, she walked away from sports, Maggie Pooh, you fucking idiot.
How come I've never met her? I never met your sister. I don't think I have.
No? Well, shame on her.
Very. I know. It's weird, right? I feel like I met your
It is weird.
I never met your sister.
Met everybody but her. She's a hard person to track down. Back to the card, dude. The fight before the Moreno-Royval fight is featuring a man that dropped one of the greatest knockouts maybe ever, like a month ago. Joaquin Barkley with the
Buckley. Right?
Yeah,
Buckley.
Barkley, isn't it Barkley? Jesus, Mike, now you're making me question myself.
Is it Barkley?
Barkley. I spelled it wrong in the ticker. No. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways.
He just married Charles just recently.
Yeah. Anyways, man, that guy's got a lot of momentum behind him. He's a beast. Maybe we could all look out for another highlight reel from him. You got Valentina's not equally as beautiful and not equally as good in the cage sister, but she's no schlub herself, and she's pretty easy on the eyes too. Her name is Antonina Shevchenko. She's fighting Lipsky, another up and comer. So
yeah.
We got
It's actually
that to
a
look
decent card.
for. It's actually, you know, when you sit down, first glance, you're like, why we don't really want to watch this one. But once you if you're a real fan of the sport and you dig in there and you know a little bit about each one of these fighters, dude, Mike Perry is always entertaining. Tim Means, Dirty Bird, will fight to the death every single time he's in there. Chukagian, Cynthia Cavallo is absolutely exciting. And if she goes out there and smokes Chukagian, she's probably next in line for Valentina. Like we already beat the Moreno Royval fight to the ground. That one's awesome.
Yep.
You got Buckley, you got the Shevchenko sisters. It's for a you know what, for an MMA fan, I think it's awesome. And let's not forget, Friday night, Kayla Harrison makes her Invicta debut. Did you know this?
Yep. Yes.
She's fighting in the co-main event on the Invicta card Friday night. You also have I think Benson Henderson. I could correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have the internet up in front of you, Mike?
Yeah.
Is Benson Henderson fighting Friday for Bellator?
Jason Jackson.
Yeah. So I mean, there is
Darian Caldwell and AJ McKee. That's tomorrow.
Oh, it's a Thursday night card.
It says
awesome.
November 19th. So that's tomorrow. Yeah.
That's tomorrow night. That's Benson Henderson. That's Darian Caldwell. Those are tomorrow night.
Even Kevin Ferguson Jr. will be on there.
Baby Slice.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt Lyle's in the comment room asking us, Tyson Jones, who you got and why? I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, Lamphere asked me this earlier when he was giving a tour around the TASM G, right? So I would say originally that, Roy Jones, I believe, is the better boxer. He's just a better boxer all around, just better. Mike Tyson, we all know Mike Tyson. He's a legend. I mean, Roy Jones is a legend too, but, Mike Tyson, all of his knockouts and everything. But the thing is as his career went on, we saw him kind of fall apart. And then he kind of get back into it when he was older. And I just feel like he wasn't into it. And he just he just kind of he crapped out. You know what I mean? Like in the fights that he had at the end there, it was kind of embarrassing and he stopped. But I don't know. If you watch some of his video right now and him practicing, he looks like he's getting into it. And if he can get inside and hit one of them power shots, I don't know, man. He's looking really strong. And how big is Jones right now? Because I don't know what he weighs, but Tyson is definitely bigger than he is. I
completely agree with you
anymore, but I think he's going to get inside. He could catch him. He looks very strong. The way he swings inside, like them short strikes, I mean, those look very powerful.
Very powerful.
He looks good. He looks good.
Like Dave says, Tyson. Yeah, Tyson. So like Dave, I agree with Dave in the comments. If Tyson doesn't win in the first 2 rounds, Jones might get it. And I totally agree with that. And the reason why I agree with that is because Jones has stayed active. As a matter of fact, I would have to look it up, but his last fight was maybe a year and a half ago. Roy Jones Jr. fought someone, maybe it could be a couple years ago, but it wasn't 15 years ago like fucking Tyson. You know what I mean? Jones has stayed active. Jones has been in the sport this whole time. He never took a decade off to smoke weed and get fat and make movies or anything like that. Tyson is going to go in there. He's going to try to power forward. He's going to try to throw those power inside hooks, and he's going to hit him with some power. But Roy Jones Jr. is also one of the best at footwork, and he's one of the best at avoiding getting hit in the history of boxing. Him and Floyd Mayweather are probably 2 of the best to ever not get hit. And Canelo's getting up there right now. I don't know if you've seen Canelo lately, but man, you can't hit that guy with a fucking gun. I'm telling you, like, he's getting there. But we both grew up watching Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, man, Matt says, who you got and why? Fuck. I'm just going to say this. Okay. Roy Jones Jr. weathers the early storm. Mike Tyson does not land the correct power shot to put Jones down. Jones out-cardios him, and Roy Jones Jr. shows everybody in the world why he's my favorite boxer of all time, and he ends up winning that thing probably by stoppage in the 7th or 8th round up against the ropes when a tired Mike Tyson is just covering up, waiting for the referee to stop it. Jones in 8.
That's very likely to happen. But I'm gonna take Tyson because, hey, Mike Tyson. Some of the best nights of my life growing up was pay-per-view Mike Tyson fights. My dad would be like, "We're getting the Tyson fights. The Tyson fight. Your uncles are coming over. You can stay up late. I might take a Budweiser and sip it a couple times. You know what I'm saying?" It was
Dude, I gotta tell you this.
It was that and WrestleMania or like Royal Rumble. Those are the nights that you get to stay up late, and those are the nights I lived for when I was a kid.
Dude, when I was what was I, like 14, 15 years old, the first time Tyson and Holyfield fought, 16 years old, however old I was at my friend Brad's house, and he had like a dozen people over, and we got to fight, and everyone's putting $5 into an envelope, and then write in who wins in what round on the outside of the envelope. And, if everybody picks the same round, I'll split it at the end. Nobody in the house picked Evander Holyfield. So when I went to put my $5 in, Evander Holyfield in 11.
Nice, dude.
Dude.
So you won.
They call me Mystic Mish.
Because you predict these things?
They call me Mystic Mish because I predict these things. So, hey, before we wrap up the show, I want to tell everybody I got another sponsor. It's at the bottom. Holding Hands. Shoot. Boop, 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 boop. Holding Hands. Going across the bottom. Jackie Holden is a wizard with the fingers. Everybody should really consider the websites at the bottom of the screen. If you got pain in any single part of your body from head to toe, I have 7, 8 herniated discs in my back. My neck is bone on bone. I get tingles in the fingers. I used to not be able to pick my kids up. I go see Jackie 5, 6, 8 times later, boom, pain-free. I'm throwing the kids around, breaking my couch once again. You know what I'm saying? So do that. And then I don't have a fancy ticker or anything, but the good fellas at Killfoot Clothing said they're going to hook us up with some sponsorship. Those guys are going to come on, and they're going to come on. They're going to be guests of the show in a couple episodes. I'm going to have Big Rig Johnny Hendricks on, and the Killfoot guys are going to come on here, talk about their product and talk about some veteran life too. So I got that. Yeah, how cool is that? So if anybody else is still tuning in here, I do have a bunch of people still watching in the chat room and everything. You all need to tune back in tomorrow night. We got the Mexicutioner, the bare knuckle heavyweight champion. How cool is that, Mike? It's fucking awesome, right?
It is awesome. I mean, you got some really cool people coming on the show. People better tune in and pay attention because this is going to be awesome. This next week is pretty loaded with some good people. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
Well, get excited for yourself too, because you're going to be a frequent guest on this show. And,
I will always be willing to come on at the drop of a dime. You'd be like, "Yeah, man, want to do this? I'll be on in a second. Just let me get a drink and I'm ready to go."
All right, my brother. Well, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Joey Beltran, BKFC heavyweight champion. I'm going to let Mike go, say goodnight to the folks. What do you got to say, Mike?
I just wanted to do something with you real quick, if that's okay.
What's that? Go ahead.
How about
speed
I flip
round?
the script on you, speed round. You ready?
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. I just got 5 questions. Kelly Kapowski or Kelly Bundy?
Oh, Whoa. God damn it.
This is a big deal.
That is a big deal. I'm going to go Kelly
People wanna
Kapowski. I'm going to go Kelly Kapowski.
Good choice. That's where I would go to.
She's
Favorite
a
Super
sweetheart.
Bowl? Well, I used to take my camera, old school, and I would take my mom's camera, and when she was in like her cheerleader outfit, I took pictures of her, and then my mom got it developed. And she was like, "What the hell are these?" I was like, "Oh, give me those. I need those. Those are for me."
Yeah. Those were for the spank bank.
Use your brain.
My Super Bowl. Jesus, man. As a Patriot fan, the first one was amazing. The second one, I was deployed. The third one, you know which one was probably the best? The Patriots Falcons. And here's the reason why. I had been going to the same guy's house for the Super Bowls. My dad's buddy, Tommy Gray, he's like my second dad. Tommy would have everybody over. We'd all bet on the games. And like I had been to 4 Super Bowls at his house already. So I'm sitting there. This time, my nephew was there. He's like 16 years old at the time, maybe 14 years old at the time. And they're down. They're losing. And this little shithead is sitting next to me going, "Oh, it's over. It's over. Oh, they suck." I'm like, "What the fuck kind of Patriot fan are you, man?" I'm like, "Have you ever even seen Tom Brady? Do you know who Bill Belichick is? You need to trust the system. You need to put your trust into these guys." I'm like, "It's not over. They're going to win the game. They're going to win the game." Halftime came around. They were down like 21-3 at halftime. And all through halftime, the halftime show's on. Ashton's sitting next to me. He's like, "I'm telling you, Uncle Kyle, it's over." I'm like, "Dude, shut your mouth." We come out. Second half comes around. Falcons score. They go up 28-3. He's like, "See, told you, Uncle Kyle." I was like, "Go sit on the other side of the fucking room right now. I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me." And it was that moment I had this much of a shred of doubt. I was really thinking that the Pats were going to lose that game. And then boom, 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 boom. Brady did his thing. The Patriots mounted the greatest comeback in the history of football, and they won it. And I got to say that was my favorite, dude. And that's it. That was it. And nice. If anybody disagrees with me, fuck you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Go jump in a river or something. I don't know. Dream MMA fight. If you could put 2 people together that you never got to see, who would it be?
No, we're taking you know what, dude? There's a few of them. The GSP and Anderson Silva.
That's number 1, I feel like.
That's number 1 on my list. Anderson Silva versus GSP is a fight that should have happened and never did. Mm-hmm. Cyborg, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yep.
Do you remember Ronda Rousey, after winning the Strikeforce title, said, "Chris Cyborg, where you at? I want to fight you. I'll fight you in the parking lot. I'll fight you there."
Yep.
What happened there? Yeah, well, what happened there? That never happened. And then, I mean, that's about it. I mean, if Habib fights GSP, that's another one. But I would say Spider GSP, Cyborg Ronda.
Nice. All right. Craziest thing that's ever happened to you on deployment?
Oh, man. So 2008 deployment, 2008-9 deployment. The deployment's winding down. We're not working anymore. Everybody is back from every location. We had people from Iraq, Afghanistan. Everyone is back at a central hub down in Kuwait at Camp Arifjan, and there's like a wood shop there. And everyone has a month of no work, nothing to do. And I don't know if you were going to ask me, if you were expecting Scud attacks or fucking diving into or whatever. No, this is not a war story at all.
That. No,
nothing.
Funny,
the craziest shit to ever happen to me. I went so our commander says, there's a lot of people going and doing fucking extracurricular activities while we're winding down here. Do not get yourself hurt. Do not get yourself in any kind of trouble. Ride it out and, let's go home. 3 days later, I'm in the wood shop and I'm planing this wood. I'm gonna make a cribbage board, and I'm running the wood through. My hand slips off the wood, and my finger jams into the fucking wood planer, and it takes the tip of my finger right off. I don't know if everybody can see that. I call it my Gumby finger, right? See that? It's kind of like yeah. I want to get it tattooed. I want to get it tattooed with Gumby's face.
Good idea.
Yeah, so jam my finger in the wood planer, the bone sticking out of my finger, everything's hanging off the side, and I grab all the fucking shit off my finger and I like hold it and I wrap it up in my shirt and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, I just ruined wood shop for everybody here. So I didn't tell anyone and I left. I left a trail of blood all the way out the wood shop. I walked over to the TMC. And the Navy guy at the medical center basically took all the fucking meat from my finger and mushed it on there like Play-Doh. And they're like, your shit's too fucked up for stitches, man. We're just going to smear it with like Neosporin and wrap. Yeah, dude, they like
glue it on.
Yeah. So they mush it all on there. They're like, here. Put your finger right here and hold this for us. So I held my finger on it. They wrapped it with a bunch of fucking gauze and shit. And my finger was this big for the next week and a half. And
like a cartoon when you hit they hit their finger with a hammer and it flattens out. That's you.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't tell anybody. You know what? You know what's another funny story? This is kind of a funny story. I was a little PFC in Camp Doha, Kuwait, and on a forklift, and I need to load an aircraft engine onto a Black Hawk that was going up into Iraq. And I got the forks up and I got the engine and I'm putting it into the side door of the Black Hawk. But I'm taking direction from this specialist from the third ID over here. And she's going like this. Come on in, coming in. All of a sudden I hear crunch. I crushed the tip cap of the main rotor blade above me with my boom from the forklift, grounded the fucking aircraft. They couldn't fly. The girl goes, I'm like, oh shit. So the girl's like, just get the fuck out of here and I'll take care of it. So I leave. I just left the scene. I just grounded a fucking Black Hawk that was going into Iraq, delivering an engine to another airfield up there. I ran back to the warehouse. I found my squad leader, Sergeant Dillis, and I was like, Dillis, man, if a sergeant major calls about anything that happened on the flight line, it's about me. So just grab me and we'll go talk. He was like, what the fuck did you do? Anyways, we ended up giving him a fucking tip cap and settling the whole thing. It was kind of crazy. It was funny. Just a funny thing.
Yeah, you probably wanted to puke for a little bit, but that's it.
I did. I was a little nervous. I was like, man. What's that?
No, go ahead.
No, it was like, but then I was also thinking, I'm only a PFC, man. What are they going to do? Knock me down to an E2?
Yeah, whatever. What are you going to lose? Like $5?
They were just trusting an E3 with a $500,000 engine. So
yeah, that's actually their fault. It's their fault, not yours. All right. So actually, during our deployment, I got way into karate movies. Looked up the top 100 and tried to watch as many as I could. So, last question: what is your favorite karate movie?
Now, when you say okay, it's an easy answer for me.
Okay,
it's the Last Dragon.
Okay.
It's the Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy. And the quick funny story about that is, dude, back in the day, we lived in Franklin, and in the next town over in Baltic, there was this dude that ran like a bootleg video rental place out of his living room, right? So it was just like a video rental place, but it was in her house, and you go in and there were these black cases that had like handwritten names on them. So you go in there and you rent them. We rented The Last Dragon, and while we had it, they got shut down.
Oh, awesome.
Right? They got busted. So I got to keep it. Me and my brother watched that VHS tape until it didn't work anymore. Burned it out.
One of the best. That's like one of my favorites. Like when I was growing up, it was the same thing. I watched all the time. I loved it. I just, for some reason, I love when the guys are dancing on it. Saki, suku, siki, whatever. Sake
Suki,
to
haki,
me.
hak,
I
sake to me.
to you.
Yeah, dude.
Holy ass out of here.
Out of this place. I must see the master. Dude, everything about that movie. And then, like, if I had to name you a couple other ones, Big Trouble in Little China, Bloodsport. Love those movies, man.
I loved Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood
Not
in,
Blood In,
Blood
Blood Out. Not Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood and Blood Out was a gang.
Yeah,
Best
it's
of
a
the
gang
best.
movie. Best of the Best. Remember Best of the Best? It was about like the Olympics against Korea.
Who could forget it? It starred Eric Roberts.
Yeah. But how about Raid Redemption? Like, that's one I discovered during deployment that I just love. Fantastic. When they smash the guy on the door, the broken door, and he just slams his neck across the broken door. I don't know. I love that movie, but I digress.
Yeah, man. Dude, I love the speed round. Thank you for turning the tables on me. That was great. Anyways, man, this was a good show. We went a little overtime, but I think this was fucking great. Thank you for joining me, Michael Hunold.
Yeah, thanks. Have me on anytime, all the time.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with your mask on.
Yeah, we'll wear the mask. Got to wear the mask. People got to wear
wear the mask. Unless you're in a certain position. Never mind. We're not going to talk about that.
Whatever. I didn't see anything.
All right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Later, bro. My, oh my, what a fun night this was. I had the pretty boy, Bruce Boyington, the face of New England fights. That man is a legend. He's been around for a long time, and he looks exactly the same as he fucking did 11 years ago. I don't know what the hell is in the water up in Bangor, Maine, but whatever it is, I want some. Anyways, him, and goddamn it, isn't it always fun to talk to Michael Hunold? That kid is the shit. He's one of my best friends. He is a fellow veteran, and he just made my night flipping the script on me with the speed round. For now, I want you all to tune in tomorrow when I talk to the bare knuckle heavyweight champion, Joey the Executioner Beltran, and I will welcome my good friend, DMB Bob Bove from the Bove MMA Roundhouse to help me talk to the Executioner. We will have a great time tomorrow night. For now, I got to say, mission accomplished. Bye-bye.